I don't know why, but y'all, I am so excited.
This is their
I'm always like, hey, I don't like drama. And to be fair, I really don't. Like I will completely ignore people to avoid drama, but sometimes you gotta get a little messy.
well, this is a therapeutic moment of the day. That's what that
I,
is.
I just like talking shit sometimes.
Sometimes we need to.
I don't like big drama, but a little bit of little drama here and there keeps you on your toes, keeps your heart pumping. I guess I'll
Mm.
mute myself so y'all don't hear me blowing into this
Uh,
Hi,
not
Angel.
joint.
mm.
Oh, my
Hi,
bad.
nephew. We're
Uh,
live, but hi.
uh,
Yay. Live
mommy's got to,
streaming as a mom.
yes, mommy's got to send a Roblox code. Ugh. Dooby-doo.
Anywho, I like how you did that, and I said anywho at the same time, and it was like the same little note.
Because we're awesome. Oh,
So, you guys, before we get into the fun stuff, I want to remind you guys that we now have an active Patreon, and it actually
yeah.
has stuff on it. There's a whole ass newsletter over there that we slid in just in time in the deadline.
Oh, just in
But yeah,
time.
so on our Patreon, we have our newsletter, The Dark Moon Tribune,
Yeah,
which also I don't know why, but I love that name so much. But yeah, it's over there, and you can either join our Patreon and get it as part of your subscription, or you can just buy it if you don't want to commit to monthly.
exactly. It'll be fun.
And next live, I'll actually break down everything about the Patreon, but I don't know, I'm tired, and we got a busy day today. Um, so yeah, we'll do it next time. Or you could just go see for yourself. It's fun over there. Or at
Yes.
least it will be. It's just getting started. But anyways, today is the day that we kind of chose to answer some questions we had got about what happened to our previous show and all that fun stuff. Um, where should we start?
Oh, I don't know, man.
I guess I guess let's give some background. So me and Brandy met on the app Amino, which I love that I met my Brandy Boo, but
Hmm.
that place is a cesspool of people of all ages who act like they are still in high school, and I do not recommend it.
Yeah, because we met a few good people. Like we met Miss Fearless and
Yeah,
Charisma.
but listen, out of the hundreds of people that I interacted with on there, there's like five cool ones. And so if you want to go through the headache, because I will tell you, some of those people were absolute headaches. Unfortunately, things went kind of quickly for me in there, and I went from being like a beginner, just jumping in, figuring out what it was, to being thrown in admin roles.
Me
And so
too.
I had to right. I remember that. I was a part of that.
You were part of that
Yeah,
shenanigans.
because I was an admin and then you were brought in. But anyway, so I had to deal with a lot of people, sometimes one on one, sometimes in group settings on there. And I can tell you that the vast majority of the people on there are extremely childish and don't really take anything seriously, or they take it way too seriously and they get argumentative. It's messy, childish ass behavior. Like there was this one broad there who was like in her 60s and she gave me a headache every time she popped up. Um, because she was one of those people who her and her dude took things way too seriously, and if you did anything they didn't like. Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent, but fuck those people. Like I really hate the people on Amino. Like y'all suck. Anyways, that's where I met Brandy. But there we actually had a larger group that has kind of dwindled down over time. And originally there was supposed to be four of us. Unfortunately, one of our friends passed during COVID, and
Hmm.
um, and it was the three of us. So it was me, Brandy, and a former friend who went by Bella. Our old show was called The Bitchy Witchies. We all met on Amino. We were all in admin, and we kind of were just became friends, the four of us. And I don't know, it was kind of on a whim one day because we were always talking 24
Always,
7.
always.
And one day we were just like, we should do a podcast. And I think it was kind of thrown out as a joke to test the water by Bella. And I was like, yeah, we could call ourselves the Bitchy Witchies because we kind of had a reputation around Amino of thinking they called us like the mean girls and stuff, which I think it's just because we weren't kissing anybody's ass. And
No,
if you have known me for more than 30 seconds, you know that I don't care if you like me.
nope.
This is what you get. This is who I am. If you don't like that, that's fine. Like, you liking me makes zero difference on my life,
First of
one
all,
way
how did
or the other.
I get put in as a mean girl? Just because I agreed with you all the time?
Probably. It got to the point where anybody who dealt with us was kind of grouped in with like, oh, they're mean girls or whatever. Um, but I was like, say less. Don't worry about it. If y'all don't like me, I'm out. And I completely left Amino, and I went back like once or twice, and every time I regretted it. Um, and usually it was just because I was asked to come back to help
Yeah.
temporarily in admin positions. And then after a while, I got to where I wouldn't even do that because literally those people fucking suck. Um, so I just stopped going entirely. Um,
Yeah.
but anyway, so we started the podcast while we were still there, but then we quickly exited. Like, the timeline is basically maybe the last month or two of us being on Amino was when we were starting the podcast.
Yeah.
Um, then our friend Circe died during COVID, which really sucked.
That
Still
really
miss
did suck.
her every day. Still rest in peace to her. Um, so there was three of us. It was me, Brandy, and Bella, and we were the Bitchy Witchies. And we did that for how many years?
Mm.
It was
Or,
a while.
mhm.
Yeah, it was like 4 years, maybe. Um, and at first it was fun.
Anyway,
We all were having a great time and just doing it, taking it serious, trying to grow it. But I think we all kind of had different ideas of how to go about it. Bella
yeah.
wanted it to be more educational, very hyper focused on witchcraft, where I know, going into it, at least for me, um, I wanted it to be more like our conversations that we were having on and off of Amino.
Yeah. That's
Because
exactly what
yeah,
I'm coming from.
in nature they were witchcraft based, but they would kind of spin out into everyday life because we were just friends talking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And
because
that's
like
what the go ahead.
because that's how like I pictured it when we discussed it and how we planned it out. I was like, oh, so it's just gonna be like us chit-chatting in our little group chat all the time. So I'm cool with that. Like that's
Yeah.
how I honestly thought it was gonna be.
Yeah. And that's what I wanted to. I wanted it to be like the conversations we had where we were just discussing our life, and the craft was naturally part of that because it's part of your life, so it's going to be a subject of conversation. But it got to be where it was so much hyper focused on staying on topic that the conversations weren't fun anymore. It got to the point where we couldn't just let the conversation flow. It was very bring it back to the topic. Okay, let's get back on topic. Okay, that's enough of a tangent. And I'm just like, do you know what a podcast is?
And the top like having a topic list was great to have like points and focal points and like things to discuss. But like having to just strictly like sit there and be like, okay, I don't know anything about this one. So during the week before, to me, like for me, it got very like studying because there was a lot of stuff that like I knew a little about, but I was like not enough to have a whole conversation and discuss. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Mhm.
like it became it became very homeworky for me.
Yeah. And here's the thing. that's not, I don't want to walk back on several things that I said on that podcast because I'm still very pro consistently doing research on whatever
Exactly.
plays into your craft. And I also do still believe that you should learn some things from other people's craft because if you're dealing with these kinds of people, you need to be able to recognize workings, whether they're being done against you or whether you just peep game of what they're doing to other people or whatever the case may be. There are definitely reasons that you should research things outside of what just you do,
Exactly.
but not to the point where I feel like you have to feel like you're in college every day of your life and you don't have to be going through encyclopedias and history books and all of that. Your life doesn't have to be a constant research paper. And what's messed up about the thing is a lot of the times the topics and stuff that would be brought up, some of those subjects are very much based on lived experience if you do those things. And if you don't do those things, the research that you get on it is going to be very biased
Yeah.
because if it's something you don't dabble in, you can only take what other people say about it because you don't do it, whether that's divination or whether that's um, a specific practice like voodoo or anything like that. Um, if you don't do voodoo, you're not going to know all the inner workings of how that plays out if you don't do it. So even if I were to do an in-depth research paper on it and then come on here and read that to you guys, I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like talking about subjects in a teaching manner about things that are practices that I don't fucking belong to.
Exactly, dude. And like, I don't know, just like the whole, I don't know. It just like it got to the point where we had to keep it to a topic list. And like, especially like when you or I were like, hey, I really don't know much about it. We couldn't get an explanation or like a tidbit. We had to do all the research ourselves or
Yeah,
discuss amongst me and you what we both read.
it would literally just be like, well, look it up, learn about it. This is what we're going to talk about. And I'm like, look, when the very first, oh my gosh, words hard this morning. um, when we started the podcast, I was only a couple years into my practice. Like I was far from an expert. I was still very much learning most things. And so to be put in a situation where I was like supposed to know things and try to teach that was scary and I didn't like it. Um, but as time went on and I did learn and get comfortable, we actually all had discussed teaching classes on various things.
Yeah.
Um, and I kind of felt like, what's the point of doing those classes if basically that's what we're having to do for the podcast?
Yeah.
And I always kind of felt like that hindered the growth of the podcast because when people are coming to a live stream and they're trying to chat and interact with you, most people are going to want to do it in the format of like friends hanging out. Like we're having a discussion. Oh, okay, you know about this? Well, shit, teach me about it. Um, I don't, I don't know. I didn't like it to,
No.
like I said, we were just constantly getting forced to like pull back into the topic that was being discussed that day. And that started to cause a little bit of irritation. But as time went on, like a lot of things came into play. So real quick, I do want to say that we're only going to say so much here. We're going to get more in depth and we can get more into like the nitty gritty details later today when we stream this afternoon on our Patreon.
Yes,
So
and if you miss it, it'll be recorded there.
yeah, like you'll still be like if you are on our Patreon, geez, you'll be able to see that. But anyways,
Yes.
so that was kind of the first thing that kind of got weird. And we also had some issues. Everybody was in very different places than they are currently.
Yes.
Um, like everybody's lives were very different than they are today. So, okay, I'm trying to figure out how much of this part because I'm at the part kind of where her life changed, like somebody came into the picture. She got into a relationship and off rip, I knew it was going to change a little bit. I don't think we knew how much it was going to change, but I always make space for major life events to somewhat change a person's whole personality.
Yeah.
Because when I'm single, that's a different person than the person who gets into relationships, like completely different. Like I have whole different values and morals depending on if I'm in a relationship or not. So when her partner moved in, I was like, okay, things are going to get different. But it got real different. It started
Super.
being a much shorter temper, and I don't know. I just felt like, okay, there has to be something. This is just me making my own assumptions. I never asked her about this, but I just assumed, okay, there has to be something going on in that house because last week she would, for a couple years we texted like 24/7. It was
Yeah,
unless we were sleeping we would be responding, and
exactly.
all of us have stupid ass sleep schedules, so we would be up 2-3 o'clock in the morning texting each other. Sometimes it'd be like 8 o'clock in the morning, like it just
Yeah.
nonstop. It was literally like teenagers texting.
Yeah, this is we that was our day.
And then that slowed down. I was like, well, that makes sense. Like she's got somebody in house now. Like she's busy. It's fine. Um, but that never really changed. And then for some reason, and I don't know if it was based on a comment that I made that I will go into on the later stream. I'm pretty sure it was all based on a comment I made about a specific part of their dynamic, the relationship dynamic.
Yes.
And when confronted about that, it was denied. But I know for a fact that that's when there was a shift in my relationship with her personally. So then there was like a huge gap in communication with me. I was
Huge.
basically starting to be pushed out more and more. She wouldn't talk to me directly. And she got to where she wouldn't even talk to me in our like business group chat.
Well, I was the middle person. I had to relay messages. And I did
Yeah.
not like that. I was like, and how many times did I even point out, I do not like being the middle person. You need to convey this to your like yourself. And yet I was still the secretary. Please get a hold of her and let me know. I was like, dude,
And it
I
got to the point where I would get pissed about it. I'd be like, she is not my fucking secretary and she's not your secretary. Stop sitting. Like, it takes the same amount of effort to just put it in the group chat. You don't even have to like directly speak to me. Just put it in the group chat and I'll see it.
yeah.
But
Like
I don't know. That to me was absolutely infuriating. That was one of the things that really made me stop liking her as a person. Like, I'm like, okay,
especially
if you're going to do all this, like, you have my phone number. We are in several group chats together. Like, I didn't see the problem. If she didn't have a problem with me, then why can't you talk to me? You definitely had a problem with me.
yeah, because there
And
was
it's
several.
fine because truth be told, bitch, I had a fucking problem with you too. So, but it's just one of those things because when you start treating me different, I peep that immediately.
Yeah, dude. And like
And you can lie about it all you want. I'm not stupid.
it's
I'm gonna let you sit in that. But what I will say about it is even after I started questioning her loyalty or friendship to me, I still stayed solid by her
yeah.
the whole fucking time, even though I had my opinions on how she was treating me and her relationship and the things that just little shit that she would say, little slick shit that she would fucking say. Um, I still was like, hey, you going through something? Here's some money, go get lunch. Or, I would like send gifts. Like, and I wasn't always in the best position to do that. Like, there were points in my life where I was really down and out and still showed up
And
every
I think
time.
that's one of the things.
Regardless of if I was even irritated with her. Like there would be times where I'm like, dude, I know that she's like treating me different. She won't talk to me, everything, but I still showed up every time
I can think that's one of the things that bothered me the most was you and
because I'm
I,
a good ass friend.
you and I had gone through things before she did, right? And
Yeah.
like the fact that we, I always made sure I was there for you because we've all been there and we all need the people. But when anytime either one of us needed that, kind of friendship and stuff. It was just you and I. It was a you and I thing. It was never a her with us thing. If we were going through shit, that was our shit. But if she was going through shit, we had to be part of it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Like it was,
Well, you did.
yeah,
Here's
yeah.
the thing. It's like
Secretary moments.
anytime yeah, no, anytime she actually went that, and you know what, like in retrospect, the first big event should have showed me. And I honestly think that that's actually when she doubled down on not fucking with me, because I told her then, like, you might forgive him, but I won't.
Hmm.
Because I don't. Like, if you fuck over my friends, I'll never forgive you. I don't care if they forgive you. I won't. Ever. Like, I will die hating you. And
Exactly,
if you're
dude.
listening too, yeah, you know that. And also, you're a fake gangbanger. Fuck off. Like, like if you're listening, yeah, I will hate you till I die. She might forgive you. I don't. You're gross. You're disgusting. Um,
And
Again,
it's
something I'll
funny
get
because
into later. But
that whole
yeah, I
situation, I think
just,
she was mad that I pulled you in right away. I'm
oh,
like, we
absolutely.
making a
And
phone call.
it's one of those things where this is what I think it boils down to. Um, I am the kind of friend that people will say they want. They'll be like, "Oh, I want a friend that's gonna make me a better person, gonna be there for me through thick and thin, um, but will hold me accountable and help me be a better person and grow and all of that." Because that's what I want. And when I meet people, like that's what I expect.
Yeah.
I'm very steel sharpens steel, like continue to get better, right? But whenever I would confront Bella with issues like, hey, like why can't you just directly talk to me? Like we're not just business partners. Like I thought we were friends. I thought we were sisters. Like sisters were words that were thrown around loosely every day. Like, oh, these are my sisters. This is my family. We're family. We're friends. We're business partners. Like we were supposed to be like connected on several ways. Like we did workings that like strengthened our bonds and shit,
Yeah.
like on a regular basis. Like we did workings together. Like we were heavily tied together. So the fact that she started to treat me like that, like at one point, like I was hurt. Like I was hurt.
Nah, dude. I was really annoyed about it because it was like, all right, like we're supposed to be your ride or die, your homies, your sisters, your family. But where are you when we need that? Like it's like during the hurricane. When my phone finally came back on, I saw the group text, right? And I saw you panicking in the group text. And all I saw was her. I was like, oh, okay. I haven't heard from her. The end. Like here I
Wait,
got
I don't even remember that being, I don't remember being in the group text for that.
you had like during that time, like
Because I think at
you'd
that point I because we did get to a point where I stopped talking in the group chat too, unless it was specifically about business.
yeah, no, there was one text from you in the group chat trying to see who'd heard from me. And like your text was panicky. Like, have you heard from her? It's been like 3 days. And like her response was, what's going on? What happened? And you're like, there was a hurricane. And
See,
she's
I
like,
don't
oh,
remember any of that. Like, I really don't. Like, I'm not gonna lie. So
no, but
when
yeah.
the hurricane hit, I just remember like trying to get a hold of you and not being able to for like 24 hours with no response. I don't think it went 3 days. Absolutely not,
Well, you
because
know what I
I
mean.
definitely would have called the police.
Like,
But
you know what I mean though? Like
but I didn't hear from you for like 24 hours. And yeah, I was immediately on that. But my thing is, like, and I think you can still kind of tell, like, thinking back on it, I don't know, it doesn't hurt anymore. But looking back on it, I'm like, bitch, you're really janky. Like, you're a shitty fucking human.
like yes, I get she told us she was a shitty friend, but we didn't realize it was
We
to
didn't
that point.
listen. No, it was like we didn't listen because at the time she was actually being a good friend. There was a point where she was being a good friend. She quit being a good friend when her fucking man child walked into the picture. So she
Uh-huh.
actually she can be a good fucking person if she wanted to be. She just doesn't want to be. And then I think it got to the point where, well, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to assume what she was thinking or saying because she wouldn't tell me. She would flat out lie to me. and be like, oh, I miss talking to you, or hearing your voice makes me cry. I don't know. And I'm like, why did you do all that? Like, what was the point?
Yeah.
Because you obviously didn't fuck with me. You couldn't even text me. You didn't have to even call. Like, you could have just typed some shit out. People text people all the time with like zero emotion. It's just typing. Um, but again, it just got to the point where I was like, okay, you can't even talk to me directly, but you want to act like you missed me.
Yeah,
That's so
dude.
weird. Like, to me, that was really weird. And it just started getting worse and worse. It added up. So okay, I might be going off on a tangent because sometimes I still do get like a little worked up about it, because it's like this was a friendship that lasted like 5 years.
Plus, this is still a fresh, like, it's still fresh on our
Yeah, like this
minds
just happened
and
like
our
last year.
emotions. Like, within this year, too. Like, how we cut
I don't
ties.
remember. This year has been insane for me. Yeah, and I do think like the final, like, we
Conversation.
dissolved, yeah, like we dissolved the business and like closed the accounts, sent out the last of the monies, and just was like, fuck it, we're gonna move on. But I'm trying not to like get too all over the place, because yeah, like there's still gonna be emotions involved, because like, bitch, I thought you were my fucking friend.
Exactly, dude. Like, I think it's just annoying to me because there were several moments in our group that, you needed her, I needed her, and it was a fend for yourself thing. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Or, like, even if, like, you, like, even brought up any kind of emotions, feelings, or anything of your own with what was going on with you or me, it was like a quiet thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
emotions were not allowed. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But and the conversations kind of started to go like that too. Like, it would be a catch up of what's going on in Bella's life. But then when we're catching up on ours, she would start doing shit on her phone. And if we asked her directly, like, what about you, Bella? She'd be like, huh, I wasn't paying attention. And I'm just like, you know
Yeah.
what? Like, at the end of the day, literally fuck you, bitch. Like, you're a janky ass person. Like, literally. People people who had minimal resources would borderline be willing to drain those for you.
Hmm.
And you couldn't even listen to them talk.
For like 2 minutes.
Like, bitch, I hope you can't sleep at night knowing that you have no friends, because the friends that you had, you treated like shit. And that's why you have to surround yourself by children who are impressed by the knowledge that you have based on your age. You could no longer impress us based on your knowledge. And all of a sudden, you had to be an adult friend and you couldn't do it.
Yeah, dude. Like, that's
And it's a
also what it,
childish mentality ass thing. And it's like, you need to grow up, you need therapy. um
that's also one of
like,
the another things I've noticed. Like, the more you
but
and
I told but
I,
and before anybody is like, hey, you're being messy, like, I told her this shit to her face. I'm like, you need therapy.
yeah,
And I will
several
stand
times.
on that. Like, and that's not even just being mean. Like, I need therapy, we all need therapy. But it's one of those things where, like, yeah, I'm gonna be a little rude about it, because I lived it and this is how I was treated and this is how I feel about it.
Yeah, dude. Because, like, I also noticed the more you and I did educate ourselves on a lot of stuff that we were not familiar with, and the more that we, like, evolved, it got more inconvenient because we were not, like, asking 1,000 questions. We wanted to discuss the topic of something we went down a rabbit hole and shit of, but then, like, when it came to us actually having a discussion, or like us just actually conversing, hey, look, this is what I found, this is what I learned. You know how you and I do it sometimes, especially when we're down rabbit holes. It got to the point where we were boring. We weren't like, asking 1,000 questions to because we thought she knew it all. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Especially like when you started going down rabbit holes of information, of things that caught your eye or interest you or piqued your interest on anything, and you went down a whole rabbit hole or anything, and like, you tell me, oh, I'm going down a rabbit hole. I'm like looking it up and sending you things so you can read and stuff. But like, I noticed as soon as we started being more on that level of education or information, the less interesting we were to her. If that
So
makes any sense.
okay, so I'm just gonna say this for like the non-business stuff, and I'm gonna leave that there, and then we can get messy again later. Because like I already feel like I was a little snappy on here already, but like I said, like there's still a little bit of like leftover emotions from it because I've had a busy year and I haven't really had time to sit down and be like, okay, process it, get over it, whatever. There's been like I have been going nonstop this year. Um,
Been a busy,
but
great year.
as far as the personal shit goes, as far as why I stopped fucking with her as a person, it was because um on a personal level, she made it seem very much like she looked down on a lot of my ways of life, things that I grew up around. We come from very different backgrounds, and I usually steer clear of people from her background for this exact reason, because they tend to think that they're smarter, and they think that they are, I don't know, just there's a marked difference between people who are from where she's from and from the background that she's from versus where I'm from.
Both of us.
And and there were comments that were made that, again, and this is just me saying how I felt based on what was going on and what was being said. um I felt very much like she looked down on me, like I was just like trashy, like hood trash, I don't know. um which, fine, like if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But I feel like that, mixed with the friction of her knowing how I felt about the dynamics of her relationship, mixed with her knowing that now something happened that made me have more animosity towards that partner, mixed with her wanting the business to run a certain way and us kind of envisioning it going a different way. And then the friction that came from the refusal to talk to me in a personal, like friendship or business manner, just basically the grand overall vision of how she was treating me is why I don't fuck with her as a person. Now, back to the business stuff. Like let's keep the rest of this just on the business stuff. That way, I don't know. If you guys, like I said, if you guys want the messy stuff, you can go to the Patreon. But so on a business level, again, like we stated originally, she wanted it to be more educational, on topic, and we wanted it to be more free form, kind of like it is now, where it's just, hey, let's have a discussion and see where it goes. Like, hey, I don't know, like in the group chats, it would just be like, hey, I learned this. And then that was just, we would just talk like friends. We would talk about that, and that would spur a conversation that goes a different way, and then that would spur a conversation that goes a different way, and then that would segue into something else. And you would never in a conversation be like, hey, let's get back to what started this conversation.
No, you stop and like, wait, what were we talking about?
Right. And we wanted it to be fun, and it just got to be not fun. It started to feel very much like work. um
Like, this is gonna sound weird, like a little mean, but like when she went on hiatus for her personal stuff and it was just us doing it, that's when I actually started having more fun again. Like when we restarted the whole, morning conversations and like literally just free flowing it with whatever we decided to.
yeah.
That's when I started having fun again and was like, maybe we need to do it this way.
And we had better interaction in the chats. And then but I do also want to point out, just for timeline purposes, that when Bella had and I'm not going to like try to downplay it, it was a very serious personal issue that was happening, like very life or death.
Yes.
She very much had to go on hiatus. Like she needed to be there doing what she was doing. That's when we were trying to be there for her, even though at this point I knew that me and her were falling out of being friends. I still showed up.
Yeah.
So just like I said, for timeline purposes, when she went on hiatus from the show was when I already knew that the friendship was bad. Like it's bad, real bad. And
A lot
So
of that timeline actually pointed it and made it very obvious.
yeah, this is when a lot of things were coming to light, and we were just like, all right, you know what? She's not going to be a good friend to me ever again. Like that ship is sailed and had a hole in it and sunk. It's at the bottom of the ocean. That
With the
ship will never
Titanic.
sail again. Yeah, it's rotten at the bottom of the ocean. And so at this point, like I said, I already kind of knew that like the friendship was bad. And even so, I was showing up with workings and, just trying to be there. But when she came back, the show went back to feeling like work, mostly because, and it wasn't so much because of the show itself, because the show we had already kind of shifted to just being lives anyway, instead of like recorded episodes that had to be edited.
Yeah.
Um, but when she came back, it did start to kind of get pulled back into like being on topic and stuff like that. And then the chats that would be in the live that would be kind of interacting with the rants or little side
Yeah,
conversations that we would
exactly.
have, that would have to get shut down. Basically, we wouldn't be able to sit there and go back and forth and banter with the people that were showing up for us. Instead, it's like, okay, well, let's get back to this lesson that we're teaching you. It very much started to feel like work again. And I think, actually, I don't think people were flat out reaching out to us like, hey, what's going on? Like the
Yeah.
the energy is different. It's off. Like I can tell that there's people could tell like we're dealing with people who are like in tune with energy. And people
Yeah.
could tell like there was like she would try to hide it and she would like pretend that we were so cool on lives, but my friends knew.
Apparently this speaks louder than my this.
And see, you couldn't even see my face as much as you can see my face now. Like at the time you couldn't see shit. And
Yes,
like it
this
was, I think it was just like a moon background for me at the time. Like there was no
you.
face at all. And people still were very much picking up on it. I would get messaged on Instagram and stuff, and they'd
Most
be
of
like,
us.
hey, are you good? Like why isn't this person, like I would just it was obviously falling apart at that time. And so we decided, okay, we need to have a discussion. What are we going to do? And all three of us got together and had a discussion. I flat out asked, like, what do you guys, who wants to continue this as we're doing it, and who would like to see it the other way, end it? Bella, I think, was still very much, according to her, she was still very much on board to continue doing it. I didn't want to do it with somebody who felt like I who I felt like they didn't like me. Though I can work and be professional with people that I'm not friends with, it's different when from the very beginning you're coworkers, but it's different when it was somebody that was your friend and then you
Yeah.
fall out. You know what I mean? And like you started the company as friends, then you fall out. I don't want that anymore. So I was just like, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah.
So
Because we were on a very long hiatus.
yeah, I
And
forgot about that. We did.
and
when
anytime you and I asked what's going on, what are we doing, there would be I don't know, what do you want to do? It's like we need information. Are we staying on hiatus? Are we coming back? Are we not? What?
And see, I'm not gonna lie, at this point, I had no longer had it. I was not friends with her anymore at this point, like on my end. It wasn't just on her end anymore. She had stopped being my friend at least a year before, at least a year, maybe more, but
Yeah.
at least a year before I stopped being friends with her.
Yo.
Um, so by this time, when we were on hiatus, the one that we never came back from, when we were on hiatus, I had decided that, you know what, she hasn't been my friend for a while, and I no longer like her either. I don't want to force myself to work with somebody who has flat out like treated me like shit. So I'm good. I think we should wrap this up, close it down, and just go on about our own thing. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought that by now other projects would be visible and whatnot. But you know, we're just over here doing our thing,
Yep.
and so far it's a lot more pleasant for sure. We're still finding our footing, but you know, at least we're not stressed about it all the time. It's not
No.
I don't constantly feel like I'm not doing enough.
No, dude. I'm like, that's the thing. Like, you and I understand when you've got things going on, so I pick up the slack. Or I've got things going on, you pick up the slack. There's no argument about it. There's no, you know, making you feel like crap about it. Because there was plenty of times I felt like crap when my life got in too intense to where I couldn't do a video during the week or something. And it got to the point where I felt like I was being belittled. You know what I mean? Like I would get so upset about that all the time.
Yeah. And the only thing I can say about that is, so unfortunately and fortunately, I was usually not privy to those conversations until after the fact,
When
because
I got really involved.
I didn't know that they were essentially like talking shit to you when you weren't producing enough content, because they would never do that to me.
No.
Never, never once. First of all, he never like spoke to me at all, period, because like for what? But she would also never do that to me.
No.
And when I found out about it, I immediately was like, don't, nah, we're not doing that.
Yeah, dude. Like,
Because one, what the hell does he have anything to say about it? He's not a part of this as friends. Like, because I was never his friend and I never pretended to be his friend. Like, I never had his number. He never had my number. We never talked privately. We never chatted. Like, I never was even in a group chat with him. Like, I don't talk to people that young. I
no,
can't
dude.
be friends with you. So like from the very beginning, I was never friends. The only reason I knew who he was because of her. Um, so the fact that he was ever saying anything to you about it was out of pocket completely.
Yeah, dude. Because when I text you and I was like, what in the hell? When did we get a new boss?
Yeah, when I got those screenshots, I was immediately like, you know what? No. I was like, don't put out shit. Don't write nothing. Don't make no videos. Don't do nothing. To
And I
hell
did
with him.
it for like
If
two
he's so
weeks.
fucking worried about it, I was like, if he's so worried about it, why the fuck don't he do something? Go do something. Mind your business. But um yeah,
Yeah.
so okay, again, let's stick to the timeline a little bit here. So the hiatus, we like close to the end of that, we actually had, I think, two or three meetings in the process of a few months. And the first couple, we were like, you know what, maybe we can make it work. You know, we built this audience. I'll just think of her as a coworker. But
Yeah.
again, she couldn't even be a fucking coworker. To hell with being friends. We had stopped being friends at this point, but she couldn't even be a decent freaking coworker. Like, not even coworker, like business partner. We had an LLC, we had an EID, like we had done all the paperwork, we had a bank account, we had been making a little bit of money, and um, like we were business partners. Like I keep saying you like she's here, um,
You.
but like she couldn't even be a decent business partner. Like I said, at this point, it was very much, we're not friends. I don't care if you're a bad friend. I already know you're a bad friend. We're not friends. So I don't care if you're a bad friend anymore, because you're not my friend. It's not my concern. You can be somebody else's bad friend. Because at this point, Jesus, I'm sorry. You got to understand, I didn't get to have this conversation with her. So not to mention, you know, us streaming just the two of us is new. We did that for years where I could talk to her directly. So apologize for all the yous. But um, she couldn't even be a decent coworker or business partner, because part of that is having to communicate to your other business partners. Couldn't even do that. So I was like, you know what? No, because Brandy is not going to be the secretary. And that is 100% the way it would have continued. It would
Oh
have
yeah.
been, it would have been, yeah, we can just do it as a business. And And it 100% would have been her never talking to me again unless it was on the lives. And Brandy would be the go-between. She would
Yeah,
have to do double the amount of work because she would have to get the messages from her and give them to me and then get the message from me and get them to her. No,
yeah,
no,
dude. I don't know how many times both of us were like, we have a group
stop.
chat. Just do it, you know? It was just annoying. It was so annoying because I was like, this is the whole purpose of a group chat. Just put what you gotta say in there. You get a response, you get a response. If you don't, you don't. Like, if you get the middle finger, just at least you put your information, your stuff in there so you could hear it.
And what's crazy is like looking back, I'm trying to think. Charisma, if you're here, correct me if I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, don't worry, you're the exception. So actually, you know what? Never mind. You're damn near, I think we're like the same age. Never mind. This doesn't apply
Yeah,
to you.
you both
This
are.
doesn't apply to you. So uh, a lot of the people that Bella would also bring into our business or friendship would be borderline children. I am an old lady trapped in a middle-aged lady's body. I don't want kids. I don't like kids. And I think anybody under the age of 30 is a kid. I am not that person. I think people in their 20s, and if you're in your 20s, but you're like a curmudgeon like me, you get a pass. But these people were like fully 20 somethings that acted like 20 somethings. They had dramatic ass lives like people in their 20s. And I don't have the headspace for it. I'm an old lady. I'm married. My husband's an old man. We don't live like that. I don't want to deal with you and your bullshit. So she would bring people into our friend group. And, I would tolerate them and be nice and be cordial and friendly with them, like I do, because I try to be nice to everybody. Um, but then like it would get messy and dramatic, and I would be like, fuck, because you brought them into our business. Like she would bring them on lives. There were contracts with these people. um, yeah, and
I
I didn't like it, but I
ain't
had to
got time.
tolerate that a lot. I had to tolerate a lot of really young, immature people. And I was like, this is going to make the business messy. And it did a little bit. Um,
I have children. I don't want to deal with other people's children.
well, actually, I do want to mention somebody else briefly. And I want to clear the air a little bit about something because you know what? I feel like I should damn near do this with this person, like face to face first. So maybe not. I'll leave it. You know what? I'll talk about it on the Patreon, but I will mention this a little bit. I'm scared that it's going to get brought to this person's attention before I get a chance to talk to them.
Yeah.
And it can be misconstrued depending on who delivers the message. So I got to be a little careful here. But we had another person who was introduced to us through Bella who became very much entwined in the business with us as well. And like contractually on paper, which looking back was bad. Like that was a really bad move that could have backfired on us. And especially with how new the business was and how little we knew and anything financial, that was so fucking risky. But anyways, fortunately nothing went left because that person, though they had a lot going on, they weren't a shitty person that was going to do us dirty.
No.
So again, there were times where uh, I didn't really care to be bothered with what this person had going on in their life. So there were times where I would express extreme disdain for like having to deal with this person. And I understand how that might be misconstrued as me like hating that person. I might have even out of like frustration said that, but I don't hate that person. And I'm going to have a conversation with that person because we've actually discussed having them back on the show.
Yes.
But I do also want to say that that person is also in a much different place in their life. And I'm very proud of you. And, if news gets back to you about this, or if you hear this before I get an opportunity to clear the air, I don't hate you, never did. You got on my nerves a little bit. Okay, a lot. But you had a lot going on and you fucking know it.
Mm-hmm.
And um, you know,
On track.
hopefully you can stay on track and everything's good, and hopefully we can get you back on the show at some point.
Yeah.
But
Ugh.
let's see. So, but that was also somebody that she brought into the folds of things, that was really young and had a lot going on, and it just added chaos to things that were already starting to fall apart.
Yeah.
It also spread income that was already very low
Very thin at a
even thinner. So yeah, and you know, coming into it, I actually think that person thought there was going to be more income involved. But
sorry, there really wasn't.
I tried to tell you, bruh. But anyways, so after the first and second meeting, way early this year, we're talking like February, March, April-ish, before summer, because like when summer hit, I was busy. during
Springtime.
the during the first two meetings, it was still very much being discussed that we would come back from the hiatus, continue the show, just be co-workers, and just make it work. And then we all needed a little bit of time to like get our lives together. Bella had a lot of big changes and a big move going on. Um, Nothing in my life had started getting too chaotic yet, but it was only like a couple months away from my life getting real crazy too. Of course, Brandy had a lot going on. She was still very much rebuilding after the hurricane.
Yes.
So like I said, the first two meetings were very much, we're going to come back, we're going to do this again, we're going to make it work as just co-workers. Then as time went on and our lives were changing, it got to the point where I was like, you know what, I don't want to. And I was like,
Yeah.
do you want to continue working as a trio, knowing that that person, like, it's going to be like a phone a friend. Like, she's going to call you, then you're going to call me, and then I got to tell you, then you got to tell her. Like, do you want to work like that?
And my
And
answer was hell no.
yeah, it was a loud, resounding no. Um, I am shivering. It is freezing in this room. I'm sorry.
Come on,
If I sound like I'm shivering, that's why. It is
my
frigid in this
response
bedroom.
was hell to the no. I can't
Yeah,
do that. And then I started dwelling and thinking about my personal feelings, especially like when we would be doing like the list, the stupid topics list, and like that spell it right, or make sure you don't misspell this, or don't just copy and paste, or please just copy and paste this because you won't word it right. And I'm like, why are you making me feel like so dumb? Like like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a great speller.
also, I found out this year, because see, I never, I don't know why, but I don't think I ever once was actually the one to type up anything on the posts that were posted on the YouTube.
Ugh.
So on the YouTube channel, so I didn't know how that worked. I do it sometimes now, or like I'll go in and correct it. It literally takes like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
So it actually took her longer to like tell Brandy to fix it than she could have just fixed it without
exactly.
making somebody feel bad. Also, if you're new here, Brandy is going to have typos.
I'm very much a typo person, and like, I'm not a great speller, especially when my brain is thinking way faster than my fingers, or my fingers are going way faster than my brain, because like I will type faster than I can get it out, and I'm just not a great speller, and
It
everything.
happens. It's fine.
I'm just like
Did you get
everybody
the
does.
message or not? You know?
Yes, exactly. Like I understood that.
And also, if I see a typo, I will have her fix it. It's really not a big deal, but it was made to be a big deal and it made her feel bad. And anytime somebody makes her feel bad, it makes me angry. so,
Yeah, but I
so
mean,
I was just
especially with
getting mad because
something.
I was getting mad at the way you were treated. I was actually still actively hurt by the way I was being treated, which, if you're new here, anytime you make me feel sad, you immediately make me feel mad, because how dare you? so,
Yes.
so like I was really angry about, just I was already just in a bad mood about how I was being treated. So anytime I heard that my precious little innocent Brandy Boo here was being any kind of mistreated, it would just like send shit over the edge for me. And that when Brandy started like venting to me more about how the treatment she was getting direct, because like I said, basically the worst thing I could say was that she never talked to me. She never tried to check me. She never tried to make me
No.
feel bad. She never tried to do any of that. Honestly, I probably think it's because she couldn't. Like you can't bully me. It's really hard to do. I
No.
have a really harsh personality. And I think that she thought she could express more like firmness with you than with me. And
Yeah.
that pissed me off because even if you can, it doesn't mean you fucking should.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, like at the beginning, my little type, the jokes about my typos, like it was funny at the beginning, or like when you did it, it was hilarious because you would text back in a typo, like make it funny. I just like it just started to be like made me like feel very belittled and like what do you call it? It just, I guess because she's okay. In my head, this is how I saw it. She was born the same year as my aunt, right? So I was always taught to respect my elders and shit like that. So like,
See, I wasn't.
and I guess because in my head I was like, okay, she's literally a couple months younger than my aunt. So she is my aunt who was 15 when I was born. So she is older than I. I need to respect her. And like when I did start type like giving my 2 cents and like giving my opinion or like how I felt, it was just immediately dismissed, especially when it came down to the me being in the middleman person. Like when I so many times was like, you need to talk to her. I am too busy to play telephone here and all that. And it still got dismissed because I'd get like a text a couple hours later. Did you let her know what I said? No, I told you I was too busy. So like when I started getting my I can't deal with this attitude, it was like, well, how
Didn't I
dare you?
tell you? I think I got to the point where I told you, I was like, I damn near had to bully you because I was like, don't send me any more of her fucking messages, Brandy. Stop doing it. Like, I had to put my foot down with Brandy because I was like, don't fucking send me no more messages from
And
her.
then
Don't
that's
do it.
why,
I was like, I'm seriously going to get mad at you if you keep doing this because you don't want to do it. I don't want you to do it. She
and
knows that I don't want you to do it, and she knows that you don't want her to do it. Yet she's still
yeah,
fucking doing it.
and
Stop
that's why I
doing it.
started putting it in the text. Like she would text me to say something. I was like, all right, you know
Yeah,
what? It's going straight to the group chat. You can't do it
right.
yourself. It's going to the group chat.
And it would get addressed. It got to where we were addressing it every single time. If she would send a message to Brandy, Brandy would put it in the group chat, like Bella said, or it would sometimes be a screenshot, like, look, this is from her to me for you. And I would be like, why didn't you tell me? Like, why? I would ask her directly, why didn't you just ask me?
Yeah,
And
dude.
then she would,
Like,
and then, but oddly enough, sometimes she would like just reiterate the question in the group chat all of a sudden, like, bitch, I already saw it. Like, that's not the point. And I was just like, you know what? I can't deal with this. Like, she's very childish. You're very childish. And you deserve the children that you have as friends because you're childish and you don't deserve adult grown up friendships because you don't respect them and
no,
you don't what's the word, reiterate. You don't reiterate that. Not
no, and
reiterate, that's not the word I'm looking for. What's the word? You don't give that back, you know what I mean? Like
no,
the anything. And I don't even mean like love. Like we actually, but here's the thing. So Bella was always like, the type you could very much tell that she's not really the lovey-dovey type. She does
mm,
not constantly dote on people, especially friends. She's not going to be like, I love you. She actually told us that she loved us. There were times where she would, not often, but she would be like, you know what, I love you guys.
yeah,
That's not love.
no, it wasn't. I think it was just a convenience.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, just it feels like it was just convenience. And like my whole thing is I feel that because we were adults like an adult really like friendship to where it wasn't all about the praise all the time and like, oh my God, you're so smart, you're this and that. Like, I don't think we were equal at all.
No,
Not at all.
I definitely don't think she saw us as equals ever.
Mm-mm.
I think at the beginning she didn't see us as equals because of like a difference in the amount of knowledge that we had. And then later on, I just don't think she saw us as equals in like a socioeconomic way. Like
No.
definitely not me. So you know,
I mean, and like you
that
and I come from very similar backgrounds and
yeah.
very similar neighborhoods. And I mean, like, so the things that
Mm-mm.
she,
I'm sorry, my coffee is ice cold. That was disgusting.
so like when she would say
The tea
things,
is hot, but my coffee is cold.
oh my God.
And
Oh,
there's the title for the fucking episode.
and that is what is
Oh,
going on.
you know what? Hold up. Pin in that. I know we're going over a little bit, and I actually can't hang around too long because I have to get ready for the next live, and it's gonna take
Both
me
of
a
us
while because
do.
I'm actually gonna be on camera for the first time ever, and I was like, oh shit, I have to like do my hair and get dressed. I have to put clothes on. Don't worry, I'm not sitting here talking to y'all naked. But
Yeah, me too, because all I
but
got was eyebrows done.
before I forget, one thing that I really hated is going into it, the first few episodes I named, and it would be based on something funny that was
I
said in the
know.
episode. And it was always like a catchy, funny little title that had to do with, like I said, what was said in the episode. And over time, it got to the point where she was like, yeah, we can't do that. We have to use titles and words and hashtags and so on and so forth that will trigger the algorithm. That never worked.
Oh, my Pokemon reference made me sad for being taken away.
Yeah.
I loved my Pokemon Crystal reference, but no, no.
Yeah. So, um, I guess to wrap things up here, basically, we had one last meeting and in a much kinder way than I did today. Don't worry, I've been stewing on this for a while. So, all my little lashing out,
This is
my
therapy
bad.
today.
Yeah,
This is
this was,
therapy day.
you know, and the thing is, like, we saved it for this. Like, we haven't even had this conversation with each other too much because we knew we were going to do this.
And we decided to do it
So,
on the 2 month mark.
well, I don't think it was so much that it was we wanted to do it once the Patreon was launched because we knew that there's people that have known us since pretty much the beginning, even
Yes.
before the podcast. So those are the people that were like, hey, we really want to know like the details because we know y'all. Um, and I was like, yeah, I'm good with that, but we can't do it here just out in the open for everybody because I don't want any like backlash. I don't, but so the last meeting we had was closer to summer, I
Yeah.
think, or right
It was like
around the beginning of
April,
summer.
April, May.
Okay. So we had another Zoom conversation, and I basically just laid it out there like, look, I don't like you as a person. We're not going to get along as people. I don't want to work with you. I think we should just shut this shit down and move on, do our own thing. And though she said that she wanted to continue it initially in that call, she agreed that, if 2 out of 3 of us would like to shut it down, then, we got to shut it down. And we did. And then it kind of felt like almost one last fuck you to us because we would have issues with her doing cash outs, taking weeks to give us our money. Um, and then when Brandy took over it would take like 2 days.
At
And
the
that
most,
includes like the processing times for the money sharing apps and so on and so forth.
like that
So
took a whole 5 minutes to do and like literally within 24 hours.
basically when we were shutting everything down, I was like, okay, here's the list of things I'm going to handle shutting down because I had to shut down, like I had to do the dissolution of the LLC because the LLC was in my name. Um, so I handled that and like shutting down some of the socials. Everybody had like their list of things to do. And basically hers was like, hey, you got to shut down the bank account. So you might as well handle the last cash out anyway, because you have to handle the bank account was started in her name. The LLC was in mine. It was very messy. We didn't know what the fuck we were doing. So, um, that was taking forever. And then again, Brandy stepped in, made it happen in like a day, and we were done. And that's kind of how things wrapped up. After the last payment was sent, I exited the group chat and I have not talked to that woman since. I have nothing to say to her. If she hears this, cool. I don't care. Feel how you feel about it. But just, I guess the last thing I want to say before we go, because like I said, I got to start getting ready. But
Right.
I guess if I were to put a message out, if she was listening, it would be that, I thought we were cool. Apparently not. You're a janky ass bitch. I hope you never, ever get the opportunity to fuck over another good friend. And I hope you have to deal with the dramatic ass shit that you surround yourself with on a regular basis. Like, I hope you continue to make the bed and lie in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go
And,
on and agree with that and stamp it.
and, yeah, I guess that's kind of it.
So for
I
those
don't
of
like
you
none of
who are
y'all.
asking,
Yeah.
so for those who asked, like literally, we always got asked when everybody found out we were starting this. This is what happened. So
Yeah. It got messy. Sorry.
it'll be messier later on.
And if somebody tells you they're a bad friend, believe them. Trust me. Like, just believe them. Don't don't think that because you're having a little honeymoon phase with them being a good friend. If somebody tells you, "Hey, I'm a bad friend," just believe them, please.
I point blank told you I'm annoying. I will check on you every day to make sure you're still breathing.
Right. I don't have friends. I don't like having friends. I don't call people my friends. If I fuck with you, you're family. And sometimes that means I'm going to cross boundaries and lines. And if you don't like that, then we can't be friends. It's fine.
And that's what family is for. So, especially when they care. So that's that.
Yeah.
So fun.
Anyways, we're going to get into details and answer questions directly that have been asked. I have a list.
Yes. We've had several people, even out of the blue, haven't spoken to in a while, ask.
Yeah, it's weird that some people have even asked me things. The people that know that two people have asked that know I didn't like them.
Yes.
So I think they know that even if I don't like you, first of all, if I don't like you, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means you might be annoying to me. Like,
Yeah.
not everybody's gonna like you. Cope. but um but yeah, even those people are like, hey, is it cool if I come around? Like, yeah, come around. Like, look, I don't hate people. I just don't want to be everybody's friend.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to talk to you about everything all of the time. That doesn't mean I can't have a conversation with you from time to time. You know what I mean? So, if you are those people, and I've brought you up before without bringing you up, if you want to be here, want to have conversations, like, yeah, for sure. Just please don't like call me because I know you have my phone number. So please don't like fucking call me or something. We're not that. But yeah, like join the Patreon, join the chat, come talk to us about what happened. Like, because you were very much there too. And yeah, we can
Exactly.
have conversations about it. I just don't want to do it here.
Yes. So
So
see,
if you all know us and want to come have a conversation about it, that's fine. Even if you think I don't like you, come on.
conversation, especially when you've been part of it.
And since we're like 10 minutes over, I want to wrap up, but I do want to share something that our dear friend Fearless, who has been, and if you guys go look at the group chat, you'll see her like her comments as we were talking. And again, this is somebody who was there from the beginning and seen it all and witnessed it all and could see the differences. And just, I don't know, go read what she had to say about it. I'm not going to tell
Yeah.
you, go read.
Yeah.
But she did just say something, and it's a great quote. So I want to end the show on that because I've heard it several times throughout my life, but it's a quote that I very rarely actually take into practice. But after this, oh, it's in practice now. So our dear friend Fearless says, when people tell you who they are, believe them. And on that note, I need to go get ready. And if y'all want to be like real, real messy or just real nosy, we will see you
At
at
3 o'clock.
3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gotta be on the Patreon. Also, don't forget the $3 tier, which is the most expensive tier, by the way. So $3, most expensive. Hi. Anyways, there's limited slots, and I'm not sure if we'll be able to, like with the newsletter, how I said if you're a patron you can get it or you could just buy it. I'm not sure if we can do that with YouTube videos. So I just want to point out that our lowest tier also has access to the YouTube videos, and it's only $1 a month. So
Yeah.
hopefully we will see you guys later today, 3 o'clock Eastern Pacific time. Wait, Eastern Pacific time. Jesus, listen to me.
Eastern Standard.
3 Eastern time, noon on the West Coast.
Yes.
Yay, time and numbers. Also, I have dyscalculia, so numbers are horrific for me. And I maybe listen to Brandy about the times.
Yes. Kind of. Sort of. I'm still been here on this coast, still thinking it's the other coast.
I am the human spell check for her, and she is like the human math check for me because, oh goodness. Anyways, all right, you guys. Hope to see you later.